I'm taking some cupcakes, about 6 cupcakes to a friend tomorrow. And my husband said, just make a box. And I said, okay. And I started making the box, and then it hit me that I should be recording this in case anybody else wanted to make a box. So I've already cut my pieces, and I've determined that I want the bottom of my box to be 5.5 by 8. That should hold 6 cupcakes. It should leave a little bit of room if I wanted to add anything at the bottom, which I'll show you that later. And then I determined that I need it to be about 2.5 inches high. So I've already cut my bottom and my sides, cut everything separate. When they lift the lid off the box, it's gonna fall open, similar to an explosion box. So then I want my top to be, it's gonna be 1/8 of an inch larger on each side to allow for the box pieces. So it's 5 3/4 by 8 1/4, and then my sides aren't going to go down quite as far, so my lid is going to be 1.5 inches deep. And what else was I going to tell you? Oh, I'm using this is medium weight. I think it's medium weight. It's like that of a cereal box chipboard, and I think I used 2 pieces, maybe 3 pieces, and also because it is kind of flimsy, I decided to double up my bottom. So we're going to assemble this and put it together, and I'm going to cover it with paper, and I have a couple of other ideas I will show you. And I have made I've made a whole bunch of these little hinges. Actually, I didn't even make these. I found them in my scrap bin, and I may try to cover the whole thing with scrap because my scrap cardstock is getting way out of hand. So let me put this guy away, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I have already glued my 2 bottom pieces together because I didn't have my camera on. But that's okay, you don't need to see that probably. Okay, so now we're gonna start gluing these guys on, and I need a pair of scissors, and I'm just gonna snip off the corners like that. All of this should be covered up by some pretty cardstock, so I'm not too worried. I don't know how I haven't decided how I'm going to cover it up yet or decorate yet. Something simple because we're leaving in the morning and it's already about 8 o'clock. So, and one more for this side. Now remember, we don't want to do the sides, and I'll explain that when we get there, because we want our box to fall open when the lid comes off. So, and I'm having problems with my glue not cooperating. This one's backwards. Okay. So this one is going to go there. Now it's going to be raised up a little bit, so I would suggest gluing it on like this because I have a double layer on the bottom. So I'm going to glue it like this. And then the same when I do these, I will glue them this way, and then it will hinge open this way. Okay? Another way you can keep that straight is tap it on the table like that to make sure it's nice and even. Do this other side. I should have inked my edges first. Probably would have been easier. But since I don't think I'm going to wrap my chipboard, I'm just going to cover it. And because I'm not wrapping it, it would probably look better if my edges were inked. So I might just ink them with some black. Okay. You don't want to leave it down too long, just in case some of the glue runs, it will stick. And then you won't open it all. But you don't want to open it too soon because you want it to get it good and dry. So you gotta find your happy medium. Uh-oh, this one's too long. See that? All right. If I can fix that real quick. It's 8 1/4. I measured that one the same as the other side. The top, the lid. Okay, fix this real quick like. You know, it actually, your glue actually sticks a little bit better, your wet glue, if you let it kind of sit for, you know, 10, 15 seconds, maybe even 20 seconds, and then stick it together. It'll get a faster grip. It takes hold. So see how these fold out nicely when you lay them on top? It leaves that space. So this is the bottom of our box. I just hope that I measured correctly and that it holds 6 cupcakes. Now let's do the top of the box and then we'll start covering it. Okay, so it's the same concept but a little bit different with the top, because on the top of the box we are going to hinge our corners together. But let's see what we got here. We have some shorter sides for the corners. Okay. Might be short one, so I'll have to I'll just piece them together. That works. And let me find the longest ones here. Those two work. Oops, backwards. Okay. Move these out of the way. Okay, so I'm almost done with this. I had a little argument with my glue again. It's really starting to clog up, but I'm not. So we have one. I can just measure this. 2. 3. And 4. Okay. I'm going to go around all 4 corners and then come back to give it time to dry. A little bit of time there. And I have some clips here. These are my sewing clips. This one is off a little bit, can you see right here? So it's not really lined up correctly, but it's going to be covered with paper. I think it'll be fine. Okay. situation like this, it might be easier if you used a dry adhesive because you wouldn't have to hold it, but this isn't too bad, I guess, with the clips especially. Okay, we will let these dry for just a few minutes and then we're going to test our box before we decorate it to see if it even works. Okay, so I think I'm going to see if this will fit. It's still kind of drying a little bit. I'm a little impatient. Now I can't get it on there with the clips. Okay, I added another piece here because it was so if I put the bottom in, it fits nicely. It's really nice. It is not, however, a snug fit. So if you wanted a snug fit, I guess you would do maybe 1/8 of an inch less for the lid size. The lid fits. It's not very snug, but that could easily be fixed by adding some more strips here, which I might do that because I have some, you see, and that might help it a lot. So let's just do that. It's not going to hurt anything. And if we're going to do it, we want to do it now before we get the pattern paper on there. Okay, just give that a minute to dry. In the meantime, I'm going to go find some paper.